Hello everyone, this is my first attempt to create a reflection video. So basically, I've designed the lesson to teach my students about how to write a cover letter. The target audience will be from 5 students who are about to graduate because I reckon that knowing the right ways to write a cover letter will come in handy when they want to apply for a job in the future. Given that a cover letter can boost the chance of their employment by leaps and bounds, the student's proficiency level should be B2 according to Common European Framework of Reference for Languages. Since the class duration is not long enough, it is unreasonable and unlikely for me to request each student to write a complete cover letter. Thereby, I intended to introduce the basic structures of a cover letter and stimulate their thoughts regarding the content of it. Throughout the teaching process, I constantly check on my students' understandings by asking questions to ensure my students were able to follow the lesson, such as, "Do you understand? Am I clear?" For the classroom activities, I implemented 21st century skill, which is think, pair, share. Some students feel safer and more relaxed when talking in small groups, rather than having to speak in personal. It also helps to foster social and interpersonal skills when they interact and discuss with each other. Through their conversations, speaking and listening skills will be gradually developed, and students are able to pick up new vocabulary from their peers and build on their prior knowledge. There are 3 stages in my lesson, namely presentation, practice, and production. The first stage focuses on control activity, which is teacher-centered. At this stage, I broke down the content and format of a cover letter to be taught to my students using PowerPoint slides. Next, the practice stage focused on the guided activities with a little guidance provided. After I had done presenting my slides, the students were required to answer certain questions found in the workbook pertaining to the cover letter. It helped me to access my students' knowledge and understanding on the topic taught. Later, I initiated a breakout session and requested them to find a partner before they start to discuss their dream jobs and the soft skill they needed. For the product stage, which is less guided, students were required to work in pace to construct a paragraph of cover letter. Based on my observation, there were only a few students who are willing to provide feedback or answer my questions verbally. The rest of the students remain silent or type in the chat box occasionally. This issue caused difficulties for me to monitor the presence of my students and whether they were paying attention to the lesson. However, the rest of the students show their existence and participation by joining the Google Jamboard activities. They enjoy the discussion with their friends and worked together to construct a few body paragraphs of the cover letter. When I rewatched the recording video, I found out that the students who constantly provide feedbacks and answers are those with high proficiency in English. Therefore, I asked the rest of the students personally, like why you didn't speak much during the class. Based on their feedback, I learned that they are irresolute to provide responses to avoid peer judgment. They are afraid of making mistakes as they have relatively low proficiency in English. Sometimes the high proficiency students provide answers instantly and they didn't even get the chance to think or answer. Hence, they are often beside themselves with frustration and low self-esteem. They eventually give up in answering as they believe someone else will answer the question. This also explains the reason why they could work in pace for the essay writing part, which required them to discuss with their own friends instead of speaking individually. In relation to that, I think I should have called out names to answer questions instead of asking around. I do understand that the high proficiency students are enthusiastic as English subject is in their wheelhouse, or in plain words, within their area of expertise or interest. Nevertheless, I should provide equal chances and opportunities for all students to attend and learn. Besides, I shall constantly check on the chat box in Google Meet. I tend to overlook the text in the chat box when I was presenting my screen. I presume that some of the students who are not confident enough to speak into the microphone eventually stop expressing their opinions if they did not obtain feedback from me after typing in the chat box. Positive reinforcement should be given from time to time to encourage them. Ergo, I believe that once I start paying attention to this group of students, they will eventually speak up someday without hesitance or reluctance. Personally, I am in favor of pair work activity. This is mainly because I hold the belief that pair work allows my students to feel more comfortable in sharing their thoughts without teacher intervening and judging their grammatical errors. Unlike large group work, which involves more than 5 members, some students might not stand a chance to voice out their opinions, as the discussion is dominated by a few students only. Hence, after I briefed them about what to do for the paperwork, I left them for some time to complete the task. However, there is one student who came to me personally, saying that her partner didn't respond to her message, and hence she couldn't discuss the task. I tried to reach out to this particular student, but he did not show up. It is kind of a critical incident in which I have no idea what to do next in response to the situation. In the end, that student had to complete the task by herself, which made me feel uneasy, but I took no action back then. After the class, that particular student came to me and apologized as he lost his internet connection during the discussion period. I regret not bringing up this issue in the class to raise the awareness of my students so they can be more responsible for good work or pair work. I also couldn't determine if this student did not participate on purpose or he was really facing a technical issue, or perhaps he faced other difficulties. However, I do realize that I should monitor the discussion section and shouldn't have left them unattended, especially for open and distance learning. Perhaps I should use WebEx as a teaching medium, as it provides a breakout section in which the teacher is free to join any group and listen to their discussions. Through these incidents, I've learned that even for less guided activities, the teacher should always stay by the student's sides and play the role of a facilitator to ensure the learning process takes place successfully and efficiently.
In a nutshell, teaching is never an easy task. It is pivotal for a teacher to keep improving his or her teaching process by constantly making reflection from time to time. Thereby, the teacher can identify the weaknesses of the lesson and enhance it to achieve the maximum learning outcomes. I truly appreciate that this course provides an opportunity for me to conduct reflection practice pertaining to the teaching in its classroom. Special thanks to my lecturer, Dr. Irene, who provides guidance and enlightened me throughout the course.
That's all for my reflection of teaching. Thank you for your time and attention. Goodbye.